I remember I saw you and you waved and it looked like the life had exited your eyes. Welcome back, everybody. I am really excited about my guest today because I have an incredible cosplayer who makes incredible red carpet designs out of their cosplays. Gracie, the CosplayLass.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you because I feel like your cosplays are consistently like jaw-dropping. Like when you're scrolling on Instagram, you stop and you're like, what is this? This is beautiful.
Aww.
And it's so inspiring. I was just telling you earlier, like as a creative, as a cosplayer, it's like, it's motivating to see because it like inspires me to want to do like cooler things all the time.
That's so awesome to hear. That's such a compliment.
Yeah, I genuinely mean it. So I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I'm excited to talk about your cosplays.
I am excited too.
I want to start by asking you about your cosplay name. It's Gracie the CosplayLass, right?
Yes.
Where did that start? How did that come to be?
So when I very first started cosplay, or that page, I had no intentions of it actually becoming like a professional cosplayer type of thing. I had just had, some friends suggest that I do cosplay, and I had done some Halloween looks over the last couple years and had just been to my first like comic convention where I had dressed up as, and so they're like, oh, you should just start a page and put all your costume looks on that. And so I did that, and when I'm first making my name, of course you don't think like this is going to be the name you're going to be stuck with for years to come, like you can't change it. So I just like started with my name, and I was like, Grace the cosplayer, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound weird. Grace the cosplay girl, cosplay, I'm the lass or whatever. And then like that just popped, like took 10 seconds to think it up. And then I got stuck with it. I have multiple times now, because it's so long. I wanted to change it so many times throughout the years, and every time I've suggested to like my followers, like, should I change it? Like, because I really think it's like way too long. They're like, don't do it.
Really?
They all love it now. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Yeah. What's really funny is when I'll run into like my followers or anyone who like knows of my page when I'm out at like comic conventions or anything like that, they'll call me by my full username.
Really?
Gracie the CosplayLass. Gracie the Cosplay.
A mouthful.
Yeah, it is a mouthful, but they always say the whole thing, which is so funny to me.
I like it. Well, it reminds me of Pokemon. I don't know if that's what you had in mind,
no.
But there's like the trainers that you come across where I don't remember their exact names, but it's kind of like the, I don't know, like Team Rocket Grunt or something like that, but it kind of reminds, it's got like the same sort of cadence.
Maybe. Yeah, I was watching a lot of Pokemon at that time, so it maybe subconsciously that eked in there somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. That's always what I was like, oh, it's probably about Pokemon or something.
Maybe.
Well, that's awesome. I'm excited. I'm glad that you created the page. I'm sure so many other people are as well. And that you kept going with it. I wanna know before we like deep dive into like your cosplay skills and how your like journey started and all of that stuff. I want to know about your like fandoms growing up that you were like in love with that like created you being, I don't know, a professional nerd, if you will, in adulthood.
I love that terminology. I'm a professional nerd.
Right, exactly.
So as a child, I grew up on Disney movies primarily. For the longest time, we did not have like cable or any like television show, so it was all just watching movies. I watched the Little Mermaid movie probably at least like twice a day for a good couple years straight, So yeah, I was super into Disney, and then also comic books, I would say was a big thing that got me into more the nerd world. My brother, I have an older brother, he started collecting comic books, and I just, when I was first learning how to read, I was having a really hard time with learning how to read. And the comic books, because they were just small sentences chopped up, I found it easier to get through. So I really started enjoying just kind of stealing his comic books and reading those for my reading time. And really, really enjoyed like X-Men and some of those. So that's what really got me into like the mutants. And I always felt a little different. You know, all of my sisters are blondes, and I was the only ginger.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then my brother's brunette. So, and I don't know, I was always a little different in any setting, really. And so when I started reading the X-Men, and they're mutants and they're different, but they made it seem like it was cool. That's what really appealed to me, you know, like just because you're different doesn't mean that it's like a bad thing. It's it can be kind of cool. So yeah,
you get your found family,
right?
You guys thrive together. Yeah. Did you have a favorite X-Men?
Yes, Mystique.
Oh,
because she can change into whatever she wanted. And that was always so cool to me. The thought of just being able to be whatever you wanted to be at any given moment,
right?
Which was really cool to me. And that was actually my very first cosplay I did.
Was Mystique?
I took it to WonderCon 2018. It was like obviously very beginner level, but you know, I had so much fun, and I loved that everyone recognized the character, and they were able to like enjoy it with me, my favorite character. And yeah, that just got me immediately hooked on cosplay. Got the bug.
You got the bug.
Yeah, I got the bug.
Right. That's exactly what happened to me too. I was wondering, when you went to WonderCon, what year was that?
2018.
2018?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was sooner than I anticipated. It seems like you've been doing this forever.
It feels like it sometimes, but yeah, no, like in 2018, that's when originally I was really just kind of dabbling in it as like a little hobby, going to WonderCon or LA Comic Con, or it wasn't really until like 2020 when COVID happened and everything kind of shut down, and I'm stuck inside, not much else to do. And then that's when I really started trying to figure out like, oh, let me play with these materials and play with that and see what I can make, you know? And that's when I really started like making stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me, because it seems like, based on some of the costumes that I've seen you do, that you've been doing this for like at least 12 years, like all of these skills. There's going to be photos like on the screen. If you're listening on the audio, I'm sorry, but
You can go
the
to my
cosplays
page.
are incredible. Yeah, exactly. What characters were your favorite as a kid besides Mystique? Like, were there any characters that you loved from different media? Ariel, maybe?
Ariel, definitely Ariel. That's always been a dream of mine, to do like a really legitimate, good Ariel cosplay. Every time I do one of those questionnaires things, people ask like, what's your dream shoot to do? It's always Ariel, but those tails are like $6,000 to do them right, like the good like silicone ones. And I'm like, I can't justify spending that much on one look.
Yeah.
I just can't. But I am working on an Ursula cosplay right now. Which
you just showed me photos. Yeah. It looks so good. When you do the like corset, like I feel like you have a look that is kind of your brand in a way, where it's like the corset, red carpet dresses.
Yes.
When you do those corsets, how do you go about making something like that?
Yeah.
Like, what's your process?
That's a good question. I think in cosplay, it's important to kind of find your own style in cosplay, because like there's a lot of different types and styles of cosplay, and I really wanted to have my own like signature type of look. And once I started doing the corsets, I started getting kind of known for doing those and like themed ones. And so and then also they're really cool to like, because I hang them up in my room, so it's like a collection once they're done, because like everything else just gets thrown in bins, so you can't really like see it. But yeah, it's basically displayed art in my room now, which is kind of fun. I start out with a mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
I build up with the mannequin with clay to my desired shape that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the mannequins don't have like larger chests and stuff like that. So I have to like kind of shape it to my body shape, and then use a Warbler, just heat it up with a heat gun, and have to wrap it all the way around, which is harder than it seems.
Yeah, I've had this pain before. Really? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it looks easier than it is to get it really nice and smooth and wrap all the way around to actually corset it. Because that's why another reason why I like it. I do holes in the back, and so that way you can pull it and it gives a really nice shape. And then you can basically work off of that and make it whatever you want. Yeah,
they're beautiful. To get into a little bit of the technicalities of it, because Warbler was the material that I learned cosplay on first, which is sort of backwards, but I was really comfortable using Warbler, and I've done the mannequin corset method a lot, and I was wondering if that's how you were creating all of these really cool looks.
Yeah.
When you do have to get it to wrap all the way around, do you have trouble because the mannequins are like size negative a million? Do you have trouble getting it to wrap all the way around and actually getting it to fit you? Because that's my number one issue with the mannequins.
No, I found a mannequin that is similar enough in size to me. It does have a pretty small waist, but that ends up being beneficial, because then once I pull it, then it kind of cinches in the waist a bit and gives that it's a corset. Yeah, so it does give that a more of a shapely thing, which majority of
characters
are drawn to be very shapely, almost unrealistically, most of the time. So if I'm doing a character like a comic book character, such as say Mystique, I think it helps with the overall look to have that very comic book look shapeliness, which those really help with.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So you made Mystique, you went to WonderCon, you were like, this is really fun, I'm gonna keep making costumes. How did it become a job for you? Like, take us through the chronological sort of journey of making the costume, maybe starting to get photos back and posting them online, and then eventually getting invited to red carpet events.
It seems crazy now, like thinking back on it, because like I said before, like when I first started this, if you would have told me when I first started this that it would become what it is, or that I'd even ever get paid to do any of it, I would have thought you're completely insane. I had first started following a lot of different cosplayers that I looked up to and admired a lot, and I just always thought to myself, man, I'll never be as good as them, and still to this day I feel that, like when I'll see all their stuff, like just this like, wow, like I could only ever hope to be that good, and there's still a bit of an imposter syndrome going on where, no matter like where I go with it, sometimes I feel like, now I'm getting paid and I'm so much further than when I started, but it's still not like where I feel like all of the people I look up to are at, but I don't know, I just started putting it out there, eventually started gaining a bit of a following, which was really cool. And then, I just started getting like emails with different offers for like doing promo ads or to go to different events. And it's kind of a pinch me type of thing.
It just starts rolling, the ball starts rolling down the hill.
And it's weird because sometimes like, you get so I guess just caught up in life and doing everything, and that you don't really realize like kind of how cool it is sometimes. And that every once in a while I'll have a moment where it'll usually just hit me in the middle of the day sometimes, where I'm like, getting ready to go to like a red carpet or something, and I've just gotten ready. Like I don't think twice about it until like a moment hits me and I'm like, wow, this is my life. Like, this is cool. Like, like it'll eventually sometimes just hit me randomly like, wow, look what I've done. This is so like fun, and I'm so lucky, and
it's hard. Like, I think the imposter syndrome hits us all.
Yeah,
there's always I think we're our own worst critics a lot of the time
Yeah.
too, where we are looking at all of these imperfections and everything that we make, and then people online or our peers are like,
Yeah.
I've never looked at your stuff and been like, could have been better. I always look at your stuff like, wow, this is so gorgeous.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when you look at other people's stuff, it's easier. I don't think I've
true.
had a single look yet that I've done where I haven't looked at it when I was finished and didn't think to myself, it could have been better.
Oh, wow. Well, I
Or it
mean,
should be better.
a blessing and a curse, right? Because then you're always pushing yourself to be better,
True,
but then you
true.
never really stop and appreciate the things that you've done.
Yeah,
So,
I try to. I try not to be too hard on myself, but you know, I have a vision in my head of what I want something to look like, and then you know, given either time restraints or just how the materials are acting or my skill set, whatever combination of all of those, then the end result is something that, you know, people think is good, but then I'm like, it's not what I wanted it fully to be, you know. And that's frustrating, and I'm like, okay, the next one, I'll get on the next one.
Yeah. Well, I think you should cut yourself a little bit more slack personally. I'm wondering if for you, when you started growing your social media, which I assume is ultimately how you started to get all of these offers and all these gigs and things like that, were you posting mainly on TikTok or Instagram or everything?
Mostly Instagram.
Okay.
Because for me, I always saw it more as like an art type of outlet where it was about the final image for me. Not
I'm very similar to
yeah,
you.
okay, so you get it. Yeah, it's more about that image, the final image. So I was really lucky to start working with some extraordinarily talented photographers. I think that helped a lot because a really great photographer can make even a bad costume look excellent, and one that's maybe, you know, not so skilled can make even the best cosplays look, you know,
totally, absolutely,
you know, just scroll passable. So and so I think that just those having those images was what actually helped get my social media to where it was. Obviously I put in a lot of hard work myself, making all of my costumes, and but doing like TikTok and things like that, I'm not very good at, just because I feel like a lot of that has to do with either like doing the silly like dances or skits, which is fun. I do that stuff when I'm at like cons with friends or stuff and stuff like that, but yeah, I just feel like that's not where my skill set is. Making TikTok stuff. Yeah, it's fun, but yeah, my main thing is Instagram.
Yeah. So are you using con images as well, like pictures that you get if they're like really beautiful like even if it's a haul shot, would you post those too, or was it usually just these like curated photo shoots?
Usually just the curated photo shoots. I would say 99% of the photos I get at conventions, there's tons of random people in the background, or, you know, like it's in a hallway with like not great like lighting or whatever it might be. So the photos aren't necessarily that great. And by the time I bring one of my costumes to a convention, it's usually one that I've already done a photo shoot in. Every once in a while, though, I'll get a photographer that really knows what he's doing, and they'll do excellent photos at a convention. And I'm like, wow, I got to post these, even if I've already posted this look 5-10 times or whatever. Martin, he was able to make some absolutely gorgeous photos at a convention. We did a photo walk with Martin Wong, and he was kind of teaching people how you can make really great photos at a convention. And when I saw those photos, I was like, wow, these are so amazing. And I had to post them. So.
Yeah, he's so he's funny too because he'll be like, okay, I'm done. And
Right?
I'm like, wait, what do you mean you're done? These gotta be terrible because they were done so quickly. And he seems so nonchalant about it that he's almost, it almost seems like he doesn't really care. And then you see them at the end and you're like, I'm sorry, what did you get in
That's
like a matter
literally
of
what
moments?
I thought. Yeah. I know that he's an extremely talented photographer, so I didn't think that they would ever be bad, but they were just really quick, and I just figured it was just for the demonstration. I didn't think that I would actually get any like of the photos, and once he sent them to me, I was like, wow, skills.
Yeah, I agree because I also saw them afterwards. So the photo walk was at San Diego Comic-Con this year. That's the last time that's when we saw each other. And it was for Nikon. And I was helping with like BTS video and stuff like that. But you were in this really amazing, like larger than life hella cosplay. And you were in that for so long. You had that huge headpiece on for so long on top of a wig. I was like, I remember I saw you and you waved and it looked like the life had exited your eyes. And I was like, oh, I know that pain. I know that cosplay pain.
No matter how much you try to hide it, it still comes out in the photos. You look constipated. You're like smiling, like, I just
you think your face looks relaxed and serene.
So many times. Reason number like 5,000 why a lot of times I don't use the photos from conventions is because at like
you're uncomfortable.
Yes, like at a regular like photo shoot, you're only in the costume for like maybe an hour, two tops. You know, at a convention. The photo might be great. The photographer did a great job. It was good lighting, but I'm like this. You know, I have that like I'm in so much pain and I'm trying to hide it. Look on your face, and there's no amount of Photoshop that can fix it.
Yes,
so
yes.
Unfortunately,
and I to go even further, I feel like at a photo shoot, you're there for a purpose and you're kind of locked in, right? Your face is sort of your body language, your face is sort of in this one mode, and even if you break for a minute to fix some stuff up, you're still kind of like you're kind of walking with a certain air about you. But at cons, it's kind of like a fun friend thing. And so you're going in between these modes, like these like gremlin modes to photo mode to this mode. And it's almost hard to sort of transition so quickly into, especially if someone's like, hey, can I grab your photo really quick? You have to be like, okay, how do I do that again? Like, I'm not thinking about that right now. So that's, I found that I've struggled with that too, where my face looks really strained. Because I'm just kind of not ready. You know?
I feel like for me, depending on like the time of the day at a con, you can see it on my face. Like in the beginning, you know, my face is doing all right, but throughout the day, there's either one like the social battery starts running low. I haven't eaten all day. I haven't been able to take off my costume, so I haven't been able to go to the bathroom or I've been wearing high heels for 8 hours straight. Any combination of all those things. But a lot of times when I go to cons, I try to bring like my most recent like coolest costume, just to kind of like show it off. But at the same time, it's fun to do that, but also then I end up just getting stuck taking photos the entire time. So there's no real breaks. I'm just I take photos from like literally the second I get there. I don't even get to hang out with my friends a lot of times. I don't get to go to see their panels, which I want to do, because even if I try to like walk, then like, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be mean and be like, no, I have somewhere to be, like, then rumors start like, she's such a bitch, know?
Absolutely. So true. I'm the same way too. I'm like, if I struggle sometimes with that, where I will say yes to too many things because I am scared that I will come off poorly. And that it's true. Rumors do start that way really often. That person wouldn't take a picture with me. They're so
I've heard
rude.
it.
They're so
they
think
just
they're
said
better
no,
than
and I'm
everyone.
like, well, maybe they had somewhere, because now having like been in that position, I'm like, they might have been on their way to the bathroom, like and they've been already taking photos with everybody, and it's okay to say no. I say that, but I don't. I'll tell other people that
to live by
do
this.
as I say, not as I do. No, like I have
In
a really hard
theory.
time saying no or to like just, and some people get weird too at cons, you know, and it's hard to get out of situations with especially men starting to get creepy, things like that. So you know, it's always important to keep a good handler with you, someone that can shoo them away for you, that if they're getting a little too grabby or, you know, anything like that, someone that can help keep you safe.
It's nice to have somebody who will look out for you and also sometimes potentially be the bad guy for you, quote unquote, because if you do need to say no to something, like if you have an emergency or you have to run somewhere or you're late to something,
right,
somebody has to be able to be like,
say,
they can't stop right now, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think if you just say it nicely, most people understand though. Like, I have somewhere I have to be, I'm so sorry, maybe on the way out, you know, like most people are understanding, I think, but yeah.
I'd like to think so as well. I think most people, I would say, have enough empathy to go around at conventions specifically. It's kind of the world of the misfits, if you will, where we're all coming together. So I agree. I think most people would understand.
Yeah.
So when you were making these costumes and you were doing these photo shoots and posting them online and getting a following, did you have a different job that you were working at the time that you transitioned out of, or do you still have sort of a day job?
Yeah, I also do custom cakes. So I was already doing that, which is also kind of another art form because I do like kind of sculpted cakes and things like that. And then I got into cosplay and now I kind of do both simultaneously. Depending on any day of the week, the island in my kitchen is either filled with like glue and foam or like fondant and frosting.
That's so funny. So I have some notes here about your cake business. It's so cool. I would have no idea that you did that full time as well. How did you start a cake business?
Kind of the same way I did with the cosplay stuff. It started as a hobby, just something that looked fun to try to do. I've always been someone who really thinks that giving someone like a handmade gift, something that you spent time and energy and put love into, means a lot more than just buying them something. So I started doing cakes more as like gifts for my friends and my family for birthdays and stuff like that. And just really had a lot of fun, you know, dabbling in that. And then those would always go to like parties. So then word would get out like who made the cake. And then before I knew it, I just had everyone calling me up like, can I get a cake from you? And I'm like, all right, sure, you know. And then before I knew it, like I'm the cake lady. So
word of mouth is crazy.
It is, honestly.
That's so cool. So did you have a cake go viral at all? Like, is there a cake that you're most like famous for online, or is there many of them?
There are many of them. I have done like a ton of Star Wars cakes specifically. So a few of those have done pretty well. Especially on Twitter, X,
whatever it is,
it is, one of those. Yeah, they've done really well on that. And had actually like celebrities commenting on them and stuff like that. I made a R2-D2 cake, which Mark Hamill actually commented on, like saying it was brilliant, which I thought was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it like so you say R2-D2 cake for anybody who is listening? Is it like a flat cake with R2-D2 art, or is it like actual R2-D2?
It's actual R2-D2, and I had him like the lights light up and his head would move.
No way!
Yeah,
how does that work?
That's
a big question. I know. But...
I know. I really wanted it to have like a robotics inside, so that way you could move it with like a remote control or something. But I just had it to where it's like almost on like the body of him was cake, and then in between that was almost a homemade like lazy Susan, as so to speak, where you could hand move the head.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
You're
that
so
was fun.
talented in so many ways. And that was 13 years ago that you started the cake business?
No.
Or sorry, you started with custom cupcakes 13 years ago.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've been baking
Mm-hmm.
since I was a child.
Okay.
So, yeah, I started doing like little baking things and stuff like that. But I didn't really start getting into like the cake stuff until about like, I would say 9-ish years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any crossover, would you say, with cake and cosplay? Like the sculpting element, obviously, but
yes and
else?
no. I would say that they both require a certain like certain amount of artistic skill. So I especially with like the sculpting and stuff like that, but they're vastly different materials I'm working with. I would say doing the cakes is slightly harder, just given one, you have to make it actually like taste good. Two, you're working with edible materials, which are, gonna either go bad, you have to keep them cold, so I have to keep putting it inside and outside of the fridge. You're limited on time because obviously you have to do it before it goes bad, especially if you have any like fruit or anything inside of it. Versus a cosplay, you can spend a month on it, a year on it, go here and there, throw it in a corner and it's fine. You can't do that with a cake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then structurally it's a lot harder because you don't have it's all just mush basically, so it's easier to fall apart or something get damaged. So
yeah, I'm sure transporting and stuff like that is probably
it gets stressful
the
for sure
part.
Yeah, because you can't like cure any of the paint. All the paint is food coloring, so like anything like hits it or you smudge it, like it's not cured like a cosplay paint would be, it's not sealed off. So yeah, it's a lot easier for it to get damaged.
Yeah. Do you have like a base that you put everything on? Like,
yeah,
I'm sure you have a whole thing.
Yeah, depending on like the size of the cake or how much structure it needs. I never thought when I started doing cakes that I would have to be taking trips to Home Depot to buy construction materials to like build up bases with, and power tools and stuff that are required sometimes for some of the structures I need to keep it together.
It's wild. Creative fields in general are so wild. You don't really understand how much goes into it until you're in the middle of it,
right?
Doing all these different things. Well, you guys, if you need a birthday cake, you know who to hit up. Sugar Siren Cakes, right?
Yep.
Do you do any like cross promotion with your cosplay stuff, or is it usually all separate?
Sometimes everyone, because I never really like built up a large following on my cake page, so a lot of times if I've made a cake that I'm particularly proud of, I'll share it on my story on my cosplay page. So most of my followers on my cosplay page do know that I do cakes, and also on Twitter as well. And through that, I've also gotten a few jobs from like productions. For instance, there was a movie coming out called Heart Eyes. It was a horror movie called Heart Eyes through Sony, and they hired me to make the serial killer Heart Eyes guy for the cast.
No way.
So I made him, and I inserted in like there's a chocolate pocket that I made with edible like red goo inside, so that way they could stab him and it would like ooze the red goo out of the cake. So that was fun.
That's so cool. Yeah. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
Don't ever doubt yourself.
I do though, all the time.
I'm like, how do I gently explain to you how cool you are over and over again for the next hour and a half? Do you have a cake that you're most proud of? Was that the coolest? I'm sure there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. One of the ones that I really thought turned out well and was really cool was the Predator cake I made. I made that for the actor who was in the Predator suit for the movie Prey. So I made it for him, and I wanted to make it like actual size. It was just a bust, so it was from like the top of the chest up. But shoulder wise, it was almost like twice as wide as I am, and like very large, very large.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it's took like 2 people to struggle to carry it.
Can you look at a photo of something, like study a photo of something and sort of map it out in real life? Like if you like you're sculpting busts of characters and things, that is crazy to me. I am the type of person who like can't picture things in my head all the way. You know what I mean? The whole internet debacle of, of the apple and the degrees in which you can see the apple.
I think if your brain doesn't work that way, you can't comprehend it working differently.
Right.
So I can picture something in my head as if it's in front of me, like as if I'm looking at it. So when, for instance, some of those like red carpet looks, when I'm thinking them up, I can, or my cosplays or the characters and my little tweaks I want to make, like I said, I have a vision in mind and what I want it to look like. And that's when I start getting frustrated when it's like not turning out exactly because like I can't get the certain materials that I need for it, or you know, time restraints or whatever it is. But yeah, I see it.
That's crazy. That's so cool to me. I can't see things in 3D. I often have to like draw things enough times for me to be able to visualize what I want to do with my hands.
Kind of surprising to me because you seem very artistic and
thank you.
Yeah.
I do. It's like I can see. I have a vision similar to what you're saying, where I want it to look like my vision, but my vision is sort of fuzzy, if that makes sense. Like I can't see it clearly.
Right, until you actually put it out on paper.
I need to like see it in real life to be like, actually, no, this should be a little to the left.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Experiment with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that blows my mind that you can just make it happen in real life from nothing. It's so cool. What do you think takes more time, cosplay or the cake business? Or are they even?
It depends. It depends on the week, because I can't really do both at the same time. So it's if I have, you know, a big cake I have to do one week, I have to put all cosplay aside, or vice versa. Lately I've had so much on my plate with cosplays. I'm making a lot of different costumes for other people, especially around like Halloween time. I have so many costumes I have to make. A lot of times I'm making them for other people and like helping out friends with theirs and things like that. So I really can't take on any cakes during that time. So I haven't really done any cake stuff in a few weeks.
In a while.
Yeah.
Do you normally do a lot of commissions, or is commissioning sort of rare?
Commissioning's rare. I just don't usually have enough time to take on a lot of commissions, and I'm extremely particular on like the quality of the work. It's going to take twice as long to make something for someone else because I have to put the quality to a higher standard than I would for just myself. You know, if I know I'm just making a costume that's just for a photo shoot, they have to be in it for an hour, you know, I might be like, okay, well, I don't necessarily need the back to look fantastic, but if it's for someone else, I'm going to spend twice as much time to try and make sure it, you know, looks as good as it possibly can. Because I've had so much fun though doing the red carpet looks and the more like fashion style looks, I've opened up some commissions for some of my closer friends that are also influencers to start helping to make them some looks for premieres and stuff. I'm working on 2 different ones for friends right now. I've got one finished and the other one's got started, and I'm very excited for them to show that so I can share them.
Yeah.
Because I can't share anything yet, but they're turning out pretty cool.
That's so exciting. Is this the first time you've made a red carpet look for somebody?
For somebody else? I think so.
Exciting.
I think so. Yeah.
A milestone.
I know, right? I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I've done a lot for myself. I've made other like costumes for other friends, but I don't think I've actually made any like red carpet ones. So yeah,
that's so exciting and fun. I can't wait to see them. I'm excited. It's when can we expect the posts for the 2 looks? Are they coming soon?
Yes, the event is on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
15th or 16th, 17th, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So right around that time.
So I think by the time this comes out, it should be close.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you'll definitely see them. They're pretty like, popular influencers. So yeah.
That's so exciting. That's fun. As far as cosplay goes, making Halloween costumes for everybody, do you get messages every year in like September, October?
Yes, I do. I get a lot of DMs of, usually it's people, where did you buy this? Where can I buy it? I'm like, I made it. Oh, well, can you make me one? I'm like, no. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
No. Or like every once in a while when I do consider it and I tell them how much it would cost to commission something like that, they're like, yeah, no, never mind. I'm like,
yeah.
It's not like a Party City costume. You're not going to get it for that price.
It's not like a 1 or 2 day thing. Like this is like weeks of like many hours. And
and when they'll tell me like, oh, this is what my budget is, I'm like, that'll literally not even cover what it will cost me in materials to make what you want me to make it.
Right, exactly.
So no.
One thing I think that a lot of people don't get, which I believe we've mentioned a lot of times on this podcast specifically, is how expensive cosplay actually is to do.
Yeah.
The materials alone are so much money and shipping costs and getting things on time for deadlines, so like expedited shipping.
Right.
Things, it gets crazy.
It does. I would have never thought it would be as expensive as it is, especially when I first started. And now what it is, I'm like, one look just cost wise can cost sometimes up to like $1,000 just in like all the materials and paints and glues and everything that goes into it, the wig, the everything, the shoes. Once you get the full look head to toe, you can easily spend $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think quality for so many things has gone up, like Amazon wigs, for example. Like there are ways to cosplay on a budget,
for sure.
I think that if you are on a really constrictive time, like a deadline, those don't always make sense to do because a lot of the money saving avenues cost time.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of have to choose one, in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah. I think, you can cosplay on a budget. And I've seen people make really, really good looking costumes for not that much money. So there is ways of doing it. And also, like, I love recycling a lot of my stuff and repurposing a lot of stuff. I was just showing you all the poor unfortunate souls I made. That's just all made out of scraps that I would have thrown away, but I kept like all the warbless scraps, even the little tiny little bits, because I'm like, I'm not a hoarder. I will use this.
I know.
I know. Could try to convince myself. I'm not a hoarder. I will use these scraps. I do, though. I do.
Yeah.
And I feel so proud of myself.
And you'll hold on to things for years, and you'll use it. The one time you use it, you're like, yes. It's like the meme of the dad who's been saving like the one piece of wood, the perfect size.
It's so true.
That's us all the time.
All the time.
Or like the drawers with all the wires in it. And you're like, yes, I have a perfect wire for this situation.
I have so many bins that are just like miscellaneous like crap that I'm like, the logical side of my brain is like, you're never going to use this. You need the space more. Throw it away. Give it away. Then the other side of my brain is like the angel and the devil on my shoulders. Like, no, you will need it. You're going to use it.
One day you're going to use it.
Yeah, you're going to use it. And then when I do, it's that little like angel being, I told you so.
Good thing
you kept
it, to save everything forever. It's so true. It's so true. When I moved here almost 2 years ago now from Florida. And I moved here with another cosplayer, and we still live together, but we had to rent. There were different sizes of U-Hauls to get the pods, and we ended up with like one of the large or like extra large ones. Not because we had a bunch of furniture, because we sold like almost all of our furniture, but because of cosplay.
Yeah.
Because we had so many. We had like a mini Joann's in our garage, and we were like, we can't. What are we gonna do with all these like shoes and wigs and paints? And we had like huge like plastic totes of spray paints and paintbrushes and ribbons and trims and fabrics and everything. And sewing machines, and we can't just not have. We have to rebuy it all when we get there. We might as well take it.
Money that was spent on all of that.
It's crazy.
Gosh, it is crazy when you actually look at it all. I was just recently doing like a clean out and, you know, kind of spring clean of all my stuff and reorganizing. And I was realizing like how many bins I had. I had like 2 of those like big bins just for wigs.
Yeah, I have just 2 bins just
those
for
are
wigs.
just the crappy wigs that don't get hung up.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, how did I accumulate that many of ones that I don't even use? Like, it's crazy. I had like so many bins of fabric, and like, I'm like, wow, how did this happen?
Yeah,
like,
it happened so
this
fast.
Has gotten out of hand real quick.
You don't even think about it. It just like
it happens.
It just
yeah,
accumulates
you
like that.
You wake up one day, and you're like surrounded, like
it's like caving in.
It is. It's closing in on
me. Literally, it's crazy. It's crazy, and imagine having to like rebuy all that stuff or like reaccumulate all that stuff too.
I couldn't. I'd just quit. I'd be like, well, it was fun,
I'm
guys.
done here. I'm doing something else now. Stella, so I'm in the warehouse with Stella. Stella has like the whole room full of sewing materials, and then I have my sewing materials and stuff over here. And very, very often we're like on a deadline, have to finish something in a couple of days or like a week, and we're running back and forth to each other. Oh my God, do you have black leather trim? I need like 2 inches of black leather trim. And it's been so nice being in the warehouse specifically for that reason.
That is nice. Yeah, that is nice. I need a partner like that. I feel I'm like solo, you know, in my kitchen by myself, listening to music, like honing in, and just taking multiple trips to either Home Depot or Hobby Lobby a day, you know, while I'm in like in the trenches of it. And they're like, everyone at Hobby Lobby now knows me by name. They're like, you're here again. And I'm like, I know.
Yep. I once again ran out of plastic. I'm back for more. Yeah. I know the struggle. I do. When you are making a cosplay, is there a particular thing that you like doing the most? Like a particular skill you like, or part of the build that you like the most?
Yeah, anything where I can like sculpt, I really love. I just really, it's really relaxing to me doing any kind of like sculpting, any kind of making like textures and things like that. I just kind of get lost in that, and it's really relaxing to me. The part I like the least though is the main Warbler corset making. There's a lot of cussing that happens during the process of that every single time. And you would think that it would be easy by now for how many I've done. But every time I'm like, you know, burn myself inevitably every single time. It just doesn't go how I want, or, you know, holes start happening or wrinkles, and I'm just like, no.
Yep. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Warbler, I used Warbler for almost everything for many years when I first started. And there's different kinds of warblers, right? There's the regular Warbler's Finest Art, the tan one that's really rough, and then the black one that's a little smoother but thinner, the white one, and the clear one, and the red one. Is there one that you use more often than others?
The regular like tan one is the one I use the most for the base of the corset, just because it's the strongest, is what's going to actually hold that shape to give you that corseted look. I have tried it with some of the other ones, and like when I very first started, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know like that the different warblers were gonna be different. So I started with the white one. It was much smoother, and it was easier to work with, and had a much smoother like finish to it. But I was devastated to find out that they're not great for corsets because it snaps. It breaks easily.
It rips. Really, really, really easily. Yeah.
So yeah, all the corsets
one.
I made with those were destroyed because I didn't know any better.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah, I know, it's sad.
Would you do one layer, or would you make multiple layers on top of each other of the warbler?
No, I do one layer, but as I work it, especially to get that the center of the waist, I kind of bunch it in and smush in where it bulges out, and so it does make the warbler almost twice as thick because I'm making it thicker as I'm pushing it in.
I see.
You know, so it's very strong around the waist, and then towards the back, that's when I'll reinforce it by several coats.
Gotcha.
To so that way the string doesn't pop out.
Yeah. Have you ever used the mesh one? I'm curious. I've never tried it on a corset, and I'm just thinking about all the warblers now. But I know that there is a mesh warbler that's supposed to be like unrippable because it's like got like a crisscross thread inside of it.
That's interesting.
Right?
I haven't tried that.
I haven't tried that either.
Yeah,
maybe I will.
Well, that's the thing about experimenting though with certain materials like warbler, as warbler is expensive.
Yes.
And so when you screw something up, or it's not the kind of material that ends up working for your project, you just made a really expensive, mistake. Yeah. And so sometimes I feel a lot safer just going with what I know already works than, putting a ton of money into something that may or may not work. I don't know. I'm going to find out, So yeah, I think I've already done enough trial and error to find out what works for me enough to where, seldomly do I start experimenting with more materials that I'm not super familiar with, anymore. Unless it's something like a small project. That way I can kind of play with a new material. But for anything, especially on a time restraint, or that I really need to make sure I know that it's going to hold up or look good, I'm going to go with my, old faithful techniques.
Absolutely. Yeah. I often find myself, because I do the same thing when people tell me about these other methods that they're doing. I'm like, thank you for the information. However, I simply do not have time to learn a new skill right now.
Right. Yeah.
So I know exactly what you mean.
There was a new technique that I really want to learn how to do. Because I really want to learn how to do like casting and molding. Because I told you I want to make a predator. But I really want to make the face like actually movable and have it be like silicone. But that's a whole new technique and skill set that I would have to learn to do that. And like then I looked into like everything that I would need to buy, like all the different materials and everything. I'm like, this is going to be very expensive practice and nothing ever turns out right the first time. Right. So, all that money you're putting in is just to practice to be better to actually do something right. Because I am like, okay, do I really want to spend that much money to learn this new skill set, or should I just do what I know is going to work and it's not going to be, exactly what I want. Yeah.
Yeah. And when do you have the time to just try things?
I know. There's that too. There is that.
It's rough out here.
For sure.
I'm curious about like all of your materials and like the way that you create everything, because I feel like we are creating in a similar, we have similar interests when it comes to creations. I like the warbler and the props and the cool sort of like foam crafting of it all much more than I like sewing.
Yeah.
Same. Hate sewing. I would rather do anything else but sew. I will buy 100 base pieces that are sort of correct and modify them.
Oh my God, girl, same.
Before I have to create something from scratch.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So I feel like we like match sort of perfectly with like in cosplay world. So I'm curious. I have a lot of technical questions. When you are sculpting, do you use the like foam clay normally?
Yeah. For cosplay stuff, I'll use the foam clay usually for sculpting. So every once in a while, I can also sculpt with Worbla. You heat it up enough, it almost becomes like a clay-like thing, and you can shape it into however you want. Yeah, mostly those two.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you sculpt with the Worbla, is it also the original, the tan one?
Yes, or the black.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tend to use black pretty often, and I've made the corsets on the mannequins a couple of times, many times actually, and I always have issues because I always use the black, and the black will rip so much faster than the original.
I never use black for the actual corset part. Yeah, that's just for detailing.
Interesting. I'm learning. This is good. This is good. It's funny that you also hate sewing. I have never met someone who also hates sewing as much
especially
as I
in the cosplay
do.
community. They're like, we did this stitch and that stitch, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I got my base pants off of Amazon. And,
Yes.
It's like, honestly, like I can sew, and I can pattern, I can do all of it. It's just not enjoyable for me. So if I don't like it, if there's like a pants to a suit where I'm like, I can find this exact same one for less than it's going to cost me in materials to go buy the material that I need to make it myself off of Amazon. I'm going to just buy it and then build off of that because,
Yeah, and we have to save time wherever we can. Right? Like it's going to take double the time to make something.
Yes.
Yeah, you might as well
certain
get
things
something
you can't
delivered to you.
Yeah, you can't get around it. You have to like sew it. I'm making my Ursula right now, and I spent a couple days straight of sewing. I think it's probably the most sewing I've ever done on a cosplay, on the skirt and tentacles. And of course, the whole time I'm thinking, why does there have to be 8 of these? Can I get away with it just being 4, 6,
octopus.
maybe? Yeah. Will people notice if she's missing a couple tentacles? Because they just took forever.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if somebody were to ask you for your top 3 crafting tips of things that you think you're really, really good at when it comes to cosplay, what would you tell them?
That I'm good at?
Or anything really, like any tips for people who would ask you if they're just starting cosplay and they're like, what are your 3 tips would you give a new person
starting cosplay? I mean, if you're just new at it, I mean, it depends on what you're getting into cosplay for. Are you getting into it just for fun? Most people who are just getting into cosplay, that's where it always starts, So it's not about, making the best cosplay or going viral or whatever. It's about having fun and paying homage to the characters that you really love. So yeah, just do the characters that you love, whether it be one that you don't think is gonna do well or gonna get you recognition. It doesn't matter. Just have fun with it. Try to, have fun with your friends with it. That's where you start. If you really want to start like going professional route, I would, maybe look into some costumes that you are gonna stand out and find ways to stand out from the crowd. And
What about these are all fantastic. I agree with everything that you're saying. But what about a skills-based?
Skills?
Yeah. Like if somebody wanted to make something to the degree that you are making things right now, is there something that you're like, oh yeah, when you use Worbla, you should definitely do this?
I would, for anyone just starting out, start out small. Don't start out with like a huge, Worbla corset, for instance. Start out with a small prop just to get yourself familiar with how the material works and, how you can use it, how to smooth it, how to get it the way you want, how to use the layers of paint to get the desired finished look. Do small little projects like that. So that way you're not wasting materials on screwing up on a bigger project because that gets very expensive, extremely frustrating. And just know that that's the end goal and where you're getting. And it just takes time and practice. No one's going to start out being good or, perfect at it. I certainly was not. There was a lot of mess ups to get me to where I am now, and a lot of trial and error. And it's just a matter of getting past the frustration of that.
Right.
And just knowing that, like, you can get better and not to give up so easily. Yeah. Just work through that. Just know that you're not the only one. Everyone struggles at first, and just get past that and you'll get better.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I agree. Messing up a giant cosplay piece that's got really expensive materials is really disheartening, and you are like, the wind is out of your sails at that point, right?
Yeah.
And Worbla it's so expensive that you're so scared to mess it up, but at the same time can be forgiving in that you can just heat it back up and sort of flatten it back out if the mistake is not like too dire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If you know what you're doing well enough, I would say so. A beginner, a lot of times I've seen so many of my friends DMing me because I do a lot of the Worbla corsets. Gotten so many DMs from a lot of my friends like, how do you do this? Like, and they show me the process, like where they're at. And very frustrated because it's forgiving, but it's
got a learning curve.
Yeah, it's definitely got a learning curve. Yeah, so give yourself grace on that.
A long time ago, when I first started cosplaying, I heard Danielle Blue, who made a bunch of these really crazy, huge World of Warcraft armor sets back in the day. And she was saying somewhere to someone that Worbla, it's all about the distribution of the heat. Would you agree with that too?
Yes, that's again where like just experience comes in handy, because that's why I suggest playing with it and doing something small, because heating it up too much, it starts to just basically melt and turn into like so you have to heat it up only just a little bit, enough to get it to mold where you want, but if it's not enough, then you can't get it to go flat. So there's this game you play with it every time, where it's like the song and dance with the Worbla to get the perfect heat to get it to do what you want. But once you've heated it up too much and it starts ripping, then it's really hard to come back from that and to fix those issues. So then it's learning how to fix those once that does happen, because it will happen. Also, I've noticed with Worbla, there's good batches and there's bad batches. I have noticed that because I have done it enough times now to where I know that it's not the technique I'm using or what I'm doing. It's just a bad batch of Worbla that's like ripping way easier. Because then I'll take it off and I'll use a different roll that I bought, like and it doesn't do that. So I think sometimes they have either like weak spots or just too much of some whatever they make to make those. I don't even know.
I don't know either.
But too much or not enough of something in there that's making weak spots in it.
Interesting. So that is so good to know.
Yeah, because I've bought so many different rolls of Worbla now, and it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while. I want to say that there's been like 2 rolls where I'm like, okay, is it just a spot, and I'll move it, and I'm like, no, it's the whole roll is like trash and it's doing this. And so then I'll scrap that whole roll, and I'll only use that roll for like smaller projects or like scrap pieces or cutting into strips for things, but it's not usable for a corset.
Interesting. I've never thought about that being the case before. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a place, like, what's your favorite, most reputable place to buy Worbla from?
The Worbla site.
The Worbla site?
Yeah.
All right.
I used to get it at Hobby Lobby, but they don't sell it anymore.
Yeah. And rest in peace, Joann's.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately.
I know.
Pour one out for our homie.
I'm like, where am I going to get all my fabric now?
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I know.
To go to downtown LA.
I know. Terrible. I was just talking about that with someone else, that if I ever need to go to the fashion district, I need a buddy, because it's overwhelming and scary.
Yeah, you do. It's although I will say it's so much better now I just went, I want to say like 1 week ago. And I hadn't been down there in probably over a year.
Really?
So, and for that reason, it's not a safe place. It's honestly quite sad situation. And it's, dangerous. You have to be with multiple people probably just to, get through there okay. So I've just avoided it at all costs. But now that Joann's is closed and I really needed some fabrics for different things, I went down there and it was cleaned up quite a bit.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, quite a bit. It felt, it's not fully safe. No like large city is ever going to be, but I didn't feel nearly as like scared. So
interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna give it another shot then.
Yeah. We can go sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll go with you.
I would love that. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all your insight and sharing your story and everything that you have talked about so far, being vulnerable. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Could you tell the camera where to find you online if they are looking for your social media?
Yes. I am Gracie, the cosplay lass, on almost all social media. Sometimes Gracie cosplay.
Yeah, and Instagram is your most used social.
Yes, Instagram.
Okay. And is there anything you are super excited about, looking forward to in the future? Your Ursula gown.
Yes, I'm very excited about my Ursula one. I honestly think it's going to be my favorite one.
Yeah.
I'm asked that. It's probably my most commonly asked question is what's your favorite cosplay? And I can never, because I like them all.
It's whatever one you're working on at the time.
Whatever the latest one is. And I don't know if it's just because this is my latest one that I think, oh, this is going to be my favorite. But like I said, like The Little Mermaid was always my favorite movie all growing up. This is in the realm of my dream, photo shoot and cosplay, and so I'm really excited for this one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see it. Are you planning on debuting it anywhere in particular? Or a photo shoot?
Yeah, I'll definitely do a photo shoot first. I'm building up also all the props for it. I'm making her cauldron. I'm doing all the poor unfortunate souls and the eels as well. So I really want it to bring in a whole scene. But she's like more of a, how do you say, like cunty?
Yeah.
More of a hot Ursula. Yeah. So I'm definitely doing my own spin on it, kind of inspired by a few different art pieces that I've seen that really made me think of Ursula in a different way. So I'm like, wow, I could actually make this look really cool.
Yeah,
so yeah, I'm excited to do that.
Out here snatching voices. Yes. Let's go. Well, thank you so much for being here again. I really appreciate your time. Earlier, before we started rolling, you were telling me that a lot of people expect you to have an accent for some reason.
Yeah.